On News Hour tonight, protest erupts in Jigawa over alleged invasion of genetically modified organisms, threat to organic seeds. House of Representatives summons defense chief over Miyetti Allah leader's arrest. Beyond its taste and popularity, Kilishi market powers economic life in Bauchi community. On the foreign scene, Israel launches strikes on Gaza City as ceasefire talks continue. Hello and welcome to the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. The news in detail. University students and residents in Jigawa State have called for the removal of genetically modified organisms from Nigeria, citing health and environmental concerns. The rally, convened by Associate Professor Ado Garba Jangargari from the Department of Agricultural Extension and Research, Federal University Dutse, emphasized that GMOs pose risks to human life and are a tool for agricultural dependency on Western powers. Trust TV's correspondent Ali Rabiu Ali covered the event and filed in this report.
Addressing the rally, Jangargari revealed that thorough research conducted by his team indicated that GMOs could displace indigenous seeds in Nigeria, leading to dependence on foreign seed companies.
To suspend adoption GMOs in Nigeria, will go for thorough investigation. Let us know whether it is healthy to our environment and to our health system, because majority of our farmers comes from the rural areas. They cannot just, some of them cannot even read and write. They don't even know their left and right. So definitely we need a serious investigation before we go into GMO.
The associate professor highlighted widespread rejections of GMOs globally due to their environmental risks and inconsistent seed supply. He warned that farmers relying on GMOs might lose access to traditional seeds, forcing them to rely on costly imports. According to him, such a scenario could compromise Nigeria's food sovereignty and expose nations to economic exploitation. Jangargari clarified that while they respect findings from Ahmadu Bello University Zaria ABU, their position stems from independent research and lessons learned from other countries where GMOs have been rejected. He urged the government to take immediate action before the situation worsens.
We come to understand that GMO is taking stage to take over our local seeds in Nigeria, which we need to have a clear reasons why we should reject our local seeds to go for GMO. We have seen a lot of issues on GMO across the globe, where so many countries reject GMO for so many reasons, from polluting our environment, non-consistent seed supply, and when you now allow such things to happen, you lose your seeds, you end up buying seeds abroad.
A Federal University Dutse student, Asu Augustine Agie, voiced concern over the health impacts of GMO consumption. He noted that disease linked to genetically modified foods were a growing problem, underscoring the need for a return to organic farming. Agie emphasized that their ancestors lived longer due to consuming organic natural foods, unlike the current generation where life expectancy has declined due to unhealthy, chemically altered food sources. Another student, Khadija Alaji Omar, explained that their participation in the rally was to raise awareness about the dangers of GMOs and to demand their rejection in Nigeria. Similarly, Isa Aliyu, also a student of Federal University Dutse, accused Western powers of using GMOs as a tool to recolonize Nigeria through agriculture. He stressed that research had confirmed the harmful effects of GMOs on human health and the environment.
We have seen a lot of cases that have resulted from GMO, people suffering from different diseases because of consumption of GMO food. So it has come to our notice that this GMO has effects on us, and so we don't want to embark on GMO food again.
GMO foods are not too good for the health. Most of them contain low nutritive content. And apart from that, from researches and what we have had, that GMOs have caused a lot of, they are reasons for a lot of cancers.
They are injurious to our health, our environment, as they are not good for us. They are not allowing us to live healthy, to live long. So we encourage our people to go back to the olden days we are using, that our forefathers are using. They are making them to live long and healthier.
The rally demonstrated the students' strong stance against the introduction of GMOs into Nigeria's agriculture as they advocated for organic farming and food security. The debate over GMOs has intensified globally, while proponents highlighted increased crop yields, improved nutrition, and economic benefits. Critics warn of potential health risks, environmental hazards, and the loss of agricultural independence. Studies, including reports from the World Health Organization (WHO), have raised concerns about allergen, toxins, and long-term health impacts associated with GMOs. Additionally, issues like soil degradation, water pollution, and genetic contamination remain major environmental worries. In response, students and academics in Jigawa have joined the growing call to prioritize organic farming, protect indigenous seeds, and safeguard Nigeria's food security for future generations. Ali Rabiu Ali, Trust TV News, Duse.
There we have academics and students protesting over genetically modified organisms in Jigawa State. And now to join us on this particular conversation, we have Dr. Segun Adebayo, who is a Deputy Director, Center for Food Safety and Agricultural Research. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour tonight. Dr.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right. I'd like to hear from you. What would you say are the main concerns surrounding genetically modified organisms, particularly in the context of Nigeria's agriculture and food security?
Yeah, the first thing I would want to talk about as regards GMOs is the fact that the seeds don't originate from Nigeria. The seeds are patents owned by organizations outside Nigeria. And if you outsource your food to organizations who are in need for profits, and they begin monopolizing your seeds, you are looking at a potential loss of food sovereignty in a country where you have over 200 million people. You're looking at a situation where a company or an organization can control our food and our food systems. And I mean, we have laws like the Plant Variety Act of 2021 that empowers the patent holders against the smallholder farmers. I'll give an example in this country. The cotton farmers in Nigeria who had embraced genetically modified cotton, they put out a report on the 23rd of September stating that the price of those seeds, the cotton seed, genetically modified seeds, when they started, the price of those seeds were 15,000 naira per kg, and they needed 4 kg per hectare. But at the moment, it's over 55,000 naira per kg, and you need 220,000 naira worth of seeds to plant a hectare. How many of our smallholder farmers can afford 220,000 naira to plant a hectare? That is for a non-consumable.
Okay,
and one of the challenges with GMOs is that they make
Doctor, I hear you when you talk about
Hello?
the undertone in the use and promotion of GMOs, but then I'd like to hear from you. How do GMOs pose a threat to indigenous or organic seeds, and what would you say are the long-term implications for local farmers and food systems?
All right, GMOs pose a threat because, number one, through open air pollination, they can wipe out your natural seeds. Through air pollination, these things have happened in places like Mexico. And that is why the Mexican president in 2020 initiated a ban on GMOs because they found out that they began looking for their natural varieties because the GMO seeds are sterile. So by the time they cross-pollinate with your natural seeds begin to disappear because they don't self-reproduce. If your seeds don't self-reproduce, that means you are at the mercy of the seed merchants each planting season. And that is not regenerative agriculture. And that is a big threat to our food security, a big threat to our food sovereignty as a nation. And if farmers begin to buy their seeds each planting season, the moment the seed merchants say there are no seeds, you can actually have poverty. You can actually have famine, food scarcity in your country. And this is one of the biggest threats. The fact that GMOs can actually lead to food terrorism. And that's why in countries like Russia, you are considered a terrorist if you are cultivating GMOs. Ecuador burnt all their GMO farms because they know how dangerous it is. Okay. And in Nigeria, at the moment, we have genetically modified beans. They are not labeled in the market. You have genetically modified maize currently in the market. And they are falsely labeled. They are labeled hybrids. And these things are going to cause detrimental issues in our farms and our farming systems if we do not act immediately.
Okay, Doctor, you've named quite a number of cash crops that are currently genetically modified in the country. But then I'd like to hear from you. Are there any proven health or environmental risks associated with GMOs? Or are these concerns primarily based on perception and fear of the unknown?
There are proven health risks with genetically modified crops. And I'll give a very good example. Like in America, where they majorly farm GMOs, one thing that many of the people don't say is that GMOs don't just grow by themselves. You have to buy the addendum chemicals. And one major one is called Roundup. And in America, where 90 to 95% of their maize is GMO, and the use of Roundup chemical is rife. Over 200,000 people sued Bayer, the producers of Roundup, for contracting cancer from using GMO seeds and using their pesticides, which is a compulsory addendum with the GMO crops. And now Bayer was fined over $12 billion. It's in the news. Okay. If GMOs don't cause cancer, and if the chemicals, the pesticides don't cause cancer, then why is Bayer paying over $12 billion to people who sue them for contracting cancer by using GMOs? There are enough proven research.
Okay, Doctor, I hear you on the proven research, but just very quickly before we let you go, I'd like to hear from you. What role does scientific research play in shaping public perception?
Disruptors, they disrupt the endocrine system. Like I said earlier on, they cause cancer. Proven. Come again, please.
I was just asking, what role does scientific research play in shaping public perception about GMOs? And do you think Nigeria has adequate regulatory frameworks to address these concerns? Just very quickly.
Scientific research informs policies. Science informs policies. And if your science is not done indigenous, if your science is procured from...
I'm afraid we would have to let Dr. Segun Adebayo go there. But he
of how GMOs are localized in your country.
Of GMOs in Nigeria and also the protests in Jigawa.
Hello, I want to confirm you can hear me.
Quickly from that particular story, residents of Sabongari in Turkey B Ward, Jalingo, Taraba State have expressed frustration over the deteriorating state of their environment, which they claim has been neglected by successive governments for over 25 years. Despite repeated promises, the area continues to suffer from poor infrastructure, damaged waterways, and a lack of basic amenities. Take a look.
Sabongari is one of the oldest settlements in Jalingo. It traces its origin to the early 19th century, when the emirate seat was relocated from Old Muri to Jalingo, Over time, and particularly after Taraba State was created from defunct Gongola State in 1991, the area became densely populated and economically vibrant. Sabongari is surrounded by notable institutions, including the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Taraba State Health Management Board, the House of Assembly Complex, the Federal High Court of Justice, and the Mobile Police Camp. However, despite its strategic location, the condition of the area's inner parts tells a different story. Residents lamented that a damaged waterway running through the Sabongari Jumat Mosque, past the mobile police camp, and linking major business hubs like Junction Jalu and Malam Audu has been abandoned for years. The administration of the Dambaba Santai started the work from Abato, and I can bear witness most of the projects that are not complete, this administration are completing it. So we are hoping that the government will think our situation and come to our aid. The road is totally damaged, especially during the rainy season. Once there is rain, nobody can go in and nobody can come out due to the blockage of roads as a result of water passing through. The place led the lives of 2 children and some drowned. Government should come and help us build waterways and culvert in the area. Residents highlighted how the area, once bustling with trade between farmers from nearby Yoru and Jalingo buyers, now suffer economic setbacks due to the worsening conditions. I have been in this area for almost 25 years. A lot of promises were made by different administrations, but up till now the situation remains the same. A lot of children were drowned last rainy season, but we used to manage and trace them along mobile camps where they build a ward and give water narrow way space to pass. Many residents recounted how they are forced to leave their vehicles far from their homes and trek long distances, especially during the rainy season. For some, nights are spent outside their homes, stranded due to flooding. Another major concern for the residents is the lack of access to potable drinking water, with no functional borehole in the area and no access roads for water vendors. Families are left to struggle daily for clean water. We used communal effort to repair this place. There is no government that comes to our aid. It is only the local government chairman that once comes and builds single culverts, and there is nothing up till now. We have so many children around this area, and they easily fall to waterways. We file our complaint to so many channels, including the State House of Assembly, the NEDC, and to Fadama program to come and help us, for the road is the oldest road in the area of Turaikibi ward and link the town to so many places, include SS office and Malam Audu area of Yoro local government, where the large amount of revenue used to be generated to the state due to economic activities that existed between people of Jalingo and Yoro local government. We are happy to see you in our area because we are facing a very big challenge. We do not have waterways and the government seem to have forgotten about our condition. So as you have come, we are using you as an opportunity to call on the government to consider our situation. We are in a very big trouble. We are calling for the government of Agbu Kefas to look into our situation. As he is doing in other places, let him do in our area, please. The road started from Sabangari Friday Mosque to Malam, Jalo Junction, and to Wuro Musa. Before, the road was big enough and good for cars to pass. But now, if you go to our workplaces, we do not only have to wait for the rain to stop, but we will have to wait for the waterways to reduce before we come back to our homes. The residents of Sabangari are calling for urgent government intervention to repair the damaged waterways, provide access roads, and improve basic amenities, particularly potable water. With another rainy season fast approaching, they fear the consequences of inaction will be even more devastating.
And now to other stories. The House of Representatives has confirmed its readiness to receive President Bola Tinubu for the presentation of the 2025 budget estimates. Initially scheduled for Tuesday, December 17, 2024, the event has been postponed by 24 hours and will now take place on Wednesday, December 18, 2024. Here is the report.
This decision, made in a display of unity, followed a motion moved by the House Leader and seconded by the Minority Leader in accordance with Order 6, Rule 4 of the House Standing Orders authorizing the President to present the 2025 Appropriation Bill.
Of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, do admit into the chamber the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Vice President, the President of the Senate, Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ministers, government officials, and other dignitaries on tomorrow, Wednesday, 18th December 2024, to receive an address from the President on the 2025 budget estimates. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The House of Representatives has summoned Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, and the commanding officer of the 177 Battalion to appear before its committees on Army, Human Rights, and Justice on Thursday, 20th December 2024, to explain the unconstitutional arrest of a community leader, Alhaji Bello Badejo, in Nasarawa State. The House also called for the immediate release of Bello Badejo, an apology for violating his rights, and urged adherence to constitutional provisions. This followed a motion by Honorable Mansour Mano Saro, who informed the House that Bello Badejo was arrested on 9th December 2024 in Malia Town, Nasarawa State, in connection with a misunderstanding involving a retired military general. The lawmaker expressed concerns over his continued detention without trial, describing it as a violation of the Section 34, 35, 36 of the Nigerian Constitution.
The House resolved, 1, to condemn the attempt by the officers of the 177 Battalion to take over the work of the Nigerian police and the courts in resolving disputes between Nigerian citizens. The House called on the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff to order the immediate release of Alhaji Bello Badejo from unlawful detention and to also apologize to him for infringing on his constitutionally guaranteed fundamental human rights.
Separately, the House resolved to investigate the non-delivery of 2,000 tractors and 100 combined harvesters under the Presidential Food Security Initiative and Renewed Hope Agricultural Mechanization Drive. Honorable Saba Ahmed Adam noted that despite agreements signed in 2023 between the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, John Deere Tractors, and After Trade DMCC, no tractors or equipment have been delivered.
Mr. Speaker, sir, there is concern that non-delivery of these tractors and implement a setback to the New Hope agenda of agricultural mechanization, and this poses challenge to Nigeria's food sufficient ambition, as 2 farming seasons have been lost since the signing of the agreement.
He emphasized that this failure has hindered Nigeria's food production goals, wasted 2 farming seasons, and undermined the Renewed Hope agenda on food security.
The Edo State government has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last governorship election in the state, Asue Godalo, and other supporters of the party to return government vehicles in their possession. Chairman, Government Asset Recovery Committee of the state, Kelly Okungbowa, recently appointed by Governor Monday Okwegbolo, gave the order on Tuesday. Okwegbolo had set up an Assets Recovery Committee to recover government assets, including vehicles still in the hands of private individuals. Okungbowa, who disclosed this to journalists on Monday, said some of the vehicles belonging to the moribund government transport company, Edo Line, were allegedly sold and have been discovered in a spare parts market in Benin City, the Edo State capital. And now, as Nigeria battles corruption, the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission and Economic and Financial Crimes Commission remain at the forefront of the fight. According to the Society for Forensic Accounting and Fraud Prevention, Nigeria loses 2.5 trillion naira annually to fraud and corruption. Trust TV's Neil Sampson takes to the streets of Abuja to gauge residents' opinions on the performance of these anti-graft agencies.
A cross-section of FCT residents shared mixed reactions regarding the fight against corruption, with many acknowledging the agency's efforts but emphasizing the need for improvement.
You could see just recently that the governors are even challenging, the establishment of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, not because of anything, but that in Nigeria today, the anti-graft agency are not really living up to the expectation, and part of which I think is the plea bargain opportunity that is enshrined in our constitution. Someone can steal 1 billion and you ask him to give 200 million and go away.
I need to be sincere. They need to do more of their job, and to fight corruption, everything is wisdom. It's wisdom, because these things have already eat into Nigerian citizens, and we don't think of the future, and we don't even think of the present. Are you getting what I'm saying? So we need to work harder together and to support them and to make this thing work.
Actually, they are doing their best, but it's producing results, but we've not gotten there yet. So they are working, but they should work harder. Because crime rate is advancing. It's not a static thing. So they should just advance and look to other scenarios they can work to improve.
While on the Herculean task of fighting corruption in Nigeria, ICPC Chairman Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu outlined the agency's significant achievements in tackling corruption over the past year.
We recovered cash 29.7 billion. There is 10.9 billion VAT which we remitted to NIPRS. There is 10 billion COVID-19 vaccine fund meant for production of vaccine, which we recovered and remitted to the Treasury. And also there are assets which we recovered. The value which we profited, order we secured of about 2.5 billion naira. The foreign currency retrieved is about $900,000 now secure in ICPC CBN account.
Despite these strides, corruption continues to undermine trust in public institutions, stall development projects, and deliver poor quality services to Nigerians. Residents are calling for sustained efforts and reforms to ensure more impactful results in the fight against corruption. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In health, a professor and consultant psychiatrist at Obafemi Awolowo University and the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Ile-Ife, Professor Adesomi Akinsulore, has revealed that Nigeria ranks 6th globally among countries with the highest suicide rates. He disclosed that men account for 79% of suicides, while women are more prone to suicidal thoughts, emphasizing the urgent need for collaborative efforts to address the issue, especially among students. Akinsulore made these remarks on Monday during a lecture at an event organized by the Stillwater's Mental Health Foundation, held at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, Oyo State. He described suicide as a major public health concern, noting that it was the third leading cause of death globally among individuals aged 15 to 29 in 2021. According to him, while suicide is a personal tragedy, it has devastating social, emotional, and economic consequences. The psychiatrist attributed school-related risk factors for suicide to various challenges, including difficulties in accessing psychological care, stigma associated with seeking help, discrimination due to disabilities or physical differences. academic failure, and a lack of supportive school environments. Still in health, in Osun State, a shortage of medical personnel has been highlighted as a critical barrier to achieving universal health coverage, with residents urging the state government to recruit more doctors and healthcare workers to bridge the gap. In this report, Hamido Yegbade highlights the existing gaps and its cost to residents in the state. The report.
The Universal Health Coverage Week, commemorated annually from December 12, is a global event aimed at ensuring that everyone has access to quality health services without financial hardship. UHC encompasses a range of essential health services, including prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, and palliative care. However, in Nigeria, achieving this goal remains a challenge, with Osun State facing significant obstacles due to an insufficient number of healthcare professionals.
We need more personnel due to brain drain and due to this jackpot syndrome, where our medical personnel are traveling out of the country for better pay and welfare packages. So I believe that government should do more to, maybe recruit more medical personnel to be able to handle these equipment that are available.
Many residents like Oluwaseun Abiodun have voiced concern over the limited availability of doctors and other medical professionals in public hospitals, emphasizing the strain it places on healthcare delivery.
So we employ all the government at all levels, either federal or state, even the local government, to renovate all of these health centers and to provide necessary materials for the needs of the humanity.
Community leaders, including Maruf Ishola, echoed the sentiments, noting that addressing the personnel gap is crucial for the state to make meaningful progress towards UHC goal. Responding to the concerns, the Osun State Commissioner for Health, Jola Akintola, acknowledged the challenges but assured residents that the state government is taking proactive steps to address the issues.
In Nigeria, we don't have enough personnel. In Osun State, we don't have enough. But what we do is that we make judicious use of the number we have, which has really paid off. And I'm sure you are aware that Osun State won the second edition of the PHC Leadership Challenge in Abuja only last week. And we were pronounced as the champion of the whole Southwest because of judicial use of the number of personnel we have.
Akintola emphasized government's commitment to improving healthcare services by increasing the recruitment of medical personnel and investing in the healthcare sector. Residents believe that resolving the issue of inadequate staffing in public hospitals will significantly enhance the state's chances of achieving its universal health coverage targets. Amid Oyegbade, reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching the News Hour tonight on Trust TV, coming to you live from Trust TV studios. Still ahead, we'll take a look at Bauchi Kilishi Hub. We'll bring you details of this story and more after the break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's have another look at some of our top stories. Protest erupts in Jigawa over alleged invasion of genetically modified organisms, threat to organic seeds. Plus, House of Representatives summons defense chief over Miyetti Allah leader's arrest. And moving on to more stories. After an unusually prolonged and intense rainy season, residents of Kebbi State are now contending with the harsh realities of the Harmattan season. The sudden shift in weather patterns has left many struggling to adapt, highlighting the increasing challenges posed by the climate change. The report.
In recent days, Kebbi State has witnessed a dramatic transition: foggy mornings, dusty winds, scorchy sunny days, and chilly nights. The extreme weather conditions have disrupted daily life, leaving residents to grapple with its effects. The Harmattan, which typically spans from November to February, is marked by dry and dusty winds originating from the Sahara Desert. While this season is not new to the region, the intensity this year has taken many by surprise. Experts are raising concerns about the broader implications of this climate shift, particularly its effects on agriculture, livestock productions, and public health.
Now, the intensification of the Harmattan season entails that we have less water moisture in the atmosphere. The implication of that is that we might experience a late initiation or late onset of the rain. And if that happens, it means that the length of the growing season will be shortened, likely affecting the crops and by extension, the farmer that depends on it.
Residents have also shared their struggles, detailing the economic and health-related challenges brought on by this harsh weather.
It is the lack of money. People don't have money in their possession. So, but with the cold situation, person has to look for alternative to just cover himself and his children. So they are trying all their best to at least buy the cheapest one so that they will cover themselves and their children.
During this season, well, as we all know, we all face different challenges. Like in the morning when I wake up, I would normally have stuffy nose, and it's because of the weather, stuffy nose, and I find it very difficult to wake up in the morning because of the cold.
As Kebbi State continues to endure the Harmattan's grip, residents are bracing for the days ahead. With climate change intensifying year by year, the ability of communities to adapt to these shifting weather patterns remains uncertain. From Birnin Kebbi, Cynthia Yungu, Trust TV.
Bishi, a small village in Bauchi State, has become a thriving hub for the production of kilishi, the popular Hausa meat jerky. For decades, families in this community have relied on the kilishi business as a source of livelihood, passing down the craft from one generation to the next. Trust TV's Yusha Wadamo visited the village and found this report.
As the evening sets in, the air in Bakintesha of BC village becomes thick with unmistakable aroma of freshly baked kilishi welcoming visitors from afar. This village, located 20 kilometers from Bauchi town along Gombe Road, has built a reputation for producing some of the tastiest kilishi in the region. The story of kilishi in BC began 30 years ago when the trade was introduced by the late Muhammad Lawal. Today, it has grown into a vital economic activity for the community. The business of kilishi was introduced to this community by late Muhammad Lawal about 30 years ago. Late Lawal learned the skill from somewhere, and at the beginning he was the only person practicing it. After he died, some residents engaged in the business. And as you can see, today we have about 1,000 people making a living from the business that was started by just one person. As the economic hardship continues to bite harder, the business of kilishi is witnessing serious setbacks. Few years back, once it was December, this place was always busy because of high demand of kilishi. We can work from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily processing kilishi for our customers. Over 1,000 residents, including youth and women, are actively involved in this business, which has sustained many families. Depending on the market conditions, the community processes between 15 and 20 cows weekly. On less favorable weeks, production drops to about 5 cows or fewer. Things have completely changed. Things have completely changed. Some years back, we were slaughtering between 20 and 25 cows for kilishi on a weekly basis. But now we hardly process 5 cows in a week. This is as a result of high cost of animals, because a cow that we bought 200,000 last year is now sold at between 600 and 700,000. If you go to the market with 1 million naira now, you can only buy one cow. The Kilishi trade in BC has created a chain of economic activities. While some residents are cattle dealers, butchers, and ingredient suppliers, others have specialized in transporting the finished product to different parts of Nigeria and even abroad. The business of Kilishi is paying and worth doing. In a day, I can sell Kilishi worth 150 or 200,000 naira and gain 15 or 30,000 naira as profit, depending on the market. It is a business that sustains many youth in the community. Provided one is not lazy and has a small capital, I can assure you he won't be redundant among his peers. The business is more profitable in the months of December because we do get many customers courtesy of the Christmas and the New Year festivities. But in other months, we sell less due to the low turnout of customers. Despite the success of the Kilishi business, the people of BC believe that with government intervention, particularly in the area like modern packaging and marketing, they can compete more favorably with Kilishi producers in other states. For the residents of BC, Kilishi is more than just a delicacy. It is a legacy, a livelihood, and a beacon of hope for economic growth. Yusho Adamu, Trust TV News.
And now to the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. The Nigerian Senate has passed the 2014 Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Bill. The passage of the bill followed the consideration of a report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions presented by Committee Chairman Senator Abiru Adetokunbo during Tuesday's plenary session. The report.
Senator Adetokunbo, while presenting the report, explained that the bill sought to essentially consolidate various existing legislations regulating the conduct of insurance businesses in Nigeria. The lawmaker listed the legislations to include the Insurance Act 2023, the Marine Insurance Act, Motor Vehicles Third-Party Insurance Act, the National Insurance Corporation Act, and the Nigerian Reinsurance Corporation Act. Senator Adetokunbo told his colleagues that another major objective of the bill was to enable Nigerians to have a better future for themselves.
On the whole, the inputs made on the proposed bill as recommended by the committee for the approval of the Senate will go a long way in providing a comprehensive legal framework for the regulation and supervision of all manner of insurance businesses in Nigeria in order to ensure that the industry is able to successfully compete on a global level and also improve international competitiveness of Nigeria's insurance industry.
Senators in their contributions raised concerns about the proposed minimum capital requirement of 45 billion for insurance businesses, suggesting the status quo should be maintained due to the current economic situation.
My amendment is that in view of the fact that subsequent increase in the insurance capital base have been leading to the death of the insurance company in Nigeria, and reflective on the economy, I propose that the existing capital base of Nigeria Insurance Company, which is not even backed up by any law so far, should be retained, rather than going to 45 billion.
And we know in other jurisdictions, insurance companies actually own banks. So if we don't have fully capitalized insurance companies, then they will not be able to do the business. And talking about reinsurance companies, yes, we may have only one, Nigerian Re and African Re. Inability to have sufficient capital makes them to reinsure their businesses outside of these countries.
I know that banking and this insurance are interrelated. In most climes, Mr. Chairman, and my brother Senator Jimo knows that much more, that insurance companies ought to even be bigger. They ought to be bigger than even banks. Insurance companies actually even own banks because they reinsure banks.
Ruling on the passage of the bill, Deputy Senate President Senator Jibrin Barau who presided over the plenary, said the bill will help to revolutionize the insurance sector in Nigeria.
Life changes at all time. Economies change at all time. It's therefore incumbent on the authorities of every nation to recraft their legislations to go in tandem with contemporary realities. And this is what has been done by the passage of this legislation. The intent is to restructure the entire ecosystem, insurance ecosystem, in a way that it will go in tandem with contemporary happenings within our economy.
A major objective of the bill is to create a robust legal and regulatory framework for the insurance sector, enabling it to contribute positively to Nigeria's financial landscape.
It's time now to join Yusuf Akogo for the business news.
World Bank is set to decide on 3 major loan projects for Nigeria in 2025, totaling $1.65 billion, as part of effort to address critical developmental challenges in the country. The loans currently in the pipeline will focus on internally displaced persons, education, and nutrition enhancement. According to the World Bank, the loans are designed to support Nigeria's social and economic recovery, particularly in vulnerable sectors requiring urgent attention. The first project ties a solution for the internally displaced and host communities project has a commitment amount of $300 million and is scheduled for approval on April 8, 2025. The second project, Hope for Quality Basic Education for All, is expected to receive $553.8 million in financing. A strategic decision to secure a $1 billion loan backed by Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) crude was instrumental in supporting Dangote Refinery during liquidity challenges, paving the way for the establishment of Nigeria's first private refinery. This was revealed by the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of the National Oil Firm, Olufemi Shoneye, while speaking at an energy relations stakeholders engagement in Abuja. According to him, the initiative underscores NNPCL's decision to fostering public-private partnership that drive national development. Shoneye listed the restart of the Port Harcourt refinery, which he said marked a significant turning point in Nigeria's quest for energy self-sufficiency, and reaffirmed the company's commitment to revitalizing the nation's refining capacity. He explained that the NNPCL has also championed the adoption of compressed natural gas (CNG) as an alternative source of energy, offering Nigerians a cleaner and most cost-effective solution amidst rising global energy costs. Now let's check the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Oil prices nudged lower on Tuesday as China's economic data renewed demand concerns, while investors remain cautious ahead of the U.S. Federal Reserve's interest rate decision. At the London market, Brent crude sell for $73 per barrel. For the oil basket, price increases to $73 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogo.
14 people have been killed by Israeli attacks across Gaza when Israeli fighter jets bombed a residential building in Gaza City amid reports of ceasefire talks inching closer to an agreement. The attack in Gaza City targeted the Tabatibi family home in the Daraj neighborhood. Footage showed fires burning in the aftermath of the attack as rescue workers searched for survivors amid the rubble. Local media reported that the family had fled the house, which was located in the eastern part of Gaza City. The house was targeted without any prior warning. Civil defense workers confirmed that the vast majority of bodies were shredded to pieces. Still on the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States is ramping up practical arrangements for the long-anticipated launch of the regional single currency ECO, following agreements reached at its 65th ordinary session. A communique issued at the end of the 66th ordinary session of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments in Abuja on Sunday revealed that the new target for launching the ECO has been set for 2027 after earlier plans were delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The bloc of 15 West African countries has adopted criteria proposed by the high-level committee to identify member states eligible for the ECO's launch, as well as those that would join at a later stage. The authority directed the ECOWAS Commission and the West African Monetary Agency to incorporate these criteria into the protocol establishing the ECOWAS Monetary Union Agreement. It also endorsed recommendations on the cost, funding sources and mechanisms required for implementing reforms and setting up institutions essential for the single currency's launch. Central banks and member states were urged to promptly fulfill their financial obligations to operationalize these institutions once a final launch date is confirmed. And in sports, Brazilian Vinicius Jr. has won the FIFA Best Player of the Year award. The winger had an exceptional season with 24 goals and 11 assists in 39 games for Real Madrid. He won La Liga, the Spanish Super Cup and the Champions League. More in sports, Kano State, known as the horse capital of Nigeria, boasts a rich tradition and culture deeply tied to exotic horse breeds and exceptional horsemanship. Recognizing this heritage, the Equestrian Federation of Nigeria is set to harness Kano's potential, identifying opportunities for youth to excel in 5 Olympic equestrian disciplines while tapping into the sport's multi-million-dollar global economy. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim tells us more.
Equestrian sports encompasses 5 core disciplines: show jumping, dressage, vaulting, eventing, and endurance. Kano's history of horsemanship shines through its Durbar Festival, decades-long horse racing at Filin Sukwa, and the prestigious Dantata Polo Grounds annual tournament. Building on this legacy, Kano has been chosen to host the inaugural Equestrian League in February 2025, marking a new chapter for youth development and sporting excellence in Nigeria's most populous state.
The essence of today's gathering is to officially launch the countdown of the Nigerian Equestrian Federation Talent Search Season 1. This event is coming up from the 13th to the 15th of February 2025. This is going to be one of its kind. This is going to be the first time such an event is going to be showcased in Nigeria. And what better place to showcase this event than the horse capital of Nigeria, Kano State.
As you know, Kano, we are popularly known about horse riding state, and we will do everything humanly possible to make sure that we do whatever we can do to make sure our young talent and our coaches benefit from it.
With just 59 days to go, preparations are underway to showcase Kano's equestrian prowess and unlock opportunities for young talents.
And these talents who are going to be discovered and going to be mentored, are going to be certified, are going to be the future Olympics representatives for Nigeria. So many of them are going to win laurels, so many of them are going to make their states proud, so many of them are going to make their families proud. So we look forward that from this program come next year, we are going to create future heroes, future equestrian heroes. People would represent us globally.
As the league approaches, all eyes will be on Kano as the state nurtures future equestrian champions and cements its place on the global sporting map. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe, our sports correspondent, for more sports news.
In a bid to revamp Nigerian sports sector to an enviable height, the National Sports Commission is working assiduously in ensuring that the sport economy achieves the aim of making a viable sector. Chairman, National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, stated this while appearing on Trust Television sports flagship program 360 Sport, emphasized on the 3 R's that the Commission is working toward as a way to revitalize the sports ecosystem in Nigeria. Nigeria, known for racing world stars, need to get back and better at producing great talent in different sports. Hence, the need to solely focus on rebuilding the sports sector in order to have the right talent to achieve greater heights.
The success should be judged by what is the developmental process on ground. How many people are you putting into jobs? What is the industries that you are generating and stuff like that. So we have to change that, to go back, change that thinking, and leave the competition for now and focus on the development. Yes, doesn't mean we're not going to participate in competition. No, we'll participate. And for every competition, we'll put our best effort to see that what we can do with it. But the main focus should be on the development. So we have to change that thinking. That's why we have to reset our thinking to say this is where we are heading to.
Okay, good.
So
That's
everybody
clear
on that. Then we have to refocus what we are doing, meaning we have to be deliberate about it. If we make a decision, this is where we are heading, so let's focus on it. How do you want to refocus? Refocus means that what kind of strategies, what kind of policies, what kind of legislation, what kind of even executive orders Mr. President will put on ground to budget line. And that's why Mr. President appointed a special assistant on grassroots. So we also have to use that money into the grassroots. And that money is not just into football. No, it's for across all the sports where they can be activated.
Nigerian sportsmen and women will leave a sign of relief as the Commission is in tune with the Adult and Athlete initiative to boost the welfare of athletes with training fund to help them improve on their welfare ahead of competitions.
No, the Adult and whatever athlete is there. Sunday Dare tried to push it to the next level, but after the change of guards, it didn't go the right way. But now we want to now bring it back on the table and upscale it to the next level and make it institutional and make it stand alone as a process to do that. That's why we are even setting up an elite development and podium committee, which basically is to be looking after the elite athletes, the committee looking at our athletes, promoting them, and then with the aim for them to go to the podium at the appropriate competitions to do that. So we are trying, it's not just about ASM women, she's just the first beneficiary. It's going to be for everybody in the system, and we are looking at our top athletes should be getting nothing less than $30,000 a year as training grant and support for them to train. It's part of the budget that we are putting for the Olympic preparations, because it's part of Olympic preparations. If I doing massively well with it, and already, but what we did, we started with SA and we started with our own internal structures and raised that funding. Now we have put that on the plate for the corporate world. People are calling us. I want to adopt this, I want to put money for this, I want to put money for that. So at the end of the day, it will be a sustainable process where we grade all our top athletes, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and we see what they need for their training, for their medicals, for their everything, and stuff like that. So the funding will be there. All this budget line we are clearing for Olympic preparations, half of it will go into those, supporting those elite athletes, while the rest will go into our regional domestic competitions and stuff like that. So all our top athletes will be prepared. By the time the next Olympics arrived, they are okay, they are stable, they have been well prepared across board, and for them to go for the podium finish.
Nigeria's sports enthusiasts are optimistic that the National Sports Commission under Diko and Olopade improves in all facets to put Nigeria back on track as one of the best in sport across the globe. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Achishafe.
Then that's the size of our package for you from the team in Abuja and other parts of the country on the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.